Hi guys! My name's Nicole. I'm the owner of my small business called Cozy Crawly Corner, and this week I am going to talk about ways to get your crojo back when you are just burnt out in your crochet small business. I think because of the holiday season, I've been doing too much. I did markets, I did custom orders, I did pattern designing, I did vlogs, I just did a lot. I'm really trying to focus on my small business while being a mom and being at home, but trying to find a balance of when to do things and to what extent. Because I did so much, I think I realized at one point that I was so burnt out and I thought, oh my gosh, no, I can't lose my love for this hobby and this small business of mine. So I did a few things that helped me get my crojo back, which I won't lie, it's not completely back yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So I thought I would share with you guys. First thing I did was I did a different craft. And I want to share with you guys that I think you could do this in two different ways. First of all, you can do it with someone or for someone that you love. The craft I did was I made a cardboard gingerbread house for my daughter who is 1.5, and I had so much fun doing this. I got puff paint and then I used some like pillow insert to make snow at the top of the cardboard, so to make it look like it's a little snowy house, and then I added a little pillow and a blanket inside, and I was able to cut out the door, the inside, so that she can like crawl in and sit in there. That was really fun to make because it was something completely different. I've never worked with cardboard before, and I was able to go to Michael's and get puff paint and not be like, oh my gosh, what yarn do I need? Which I love yarn, don't get me wrong. I love yarn and I love yarn shopping, but it was fun to like look for something different, knowing that I had a different project in mind. And my daughter did love her gingerbread house and she still goes inside and plays with it. Of course, I will be getting rid of that once the holiday season's over, but it was still so fun to make and it's still so fun to look at and know that I did that, and it's not my usual craft. Another thing I want to say is to do a craft for yourself that you think is fun and have always been wanting to try. The craft that I'm trying that I've never done before is making things out of felt. I have been seeing so many videos on TikTok and Instagram about these little felt crafts that people have started to make, and I love them. I think they're so cute. I'm not sure if I'm going to add beads to mine, but I'm definitely going to be making some felt cookies just for fun. Because my daughter is still too young to really like know Santa or any tradition really, I think I'm just gonna have these be like the cookies we make for Santa every year. And I know what you're thinking. You might think, hey, that's also a craft for your daughter, but honestly it's a craft for me too. It's like a whole family tradition in my opinion. So I am going to be making these felt cookies. I haven't finished them yet, but I did get some felt at Michael's and I'm really excited to continue and just focus on my craft and not think about a timeline or anything like that, because that is the hard part about having a small business that is also your hobby. Okay, number 3 is doing a different hobby that you haven't done in a long time. For me, it's reading and baking. So what I decided to do is I want to read 30 minutes every night before I start to crochet, which I've started to do, and it's been so nice, guys. I love reading, but for some reason, since having this small business, like I just have not had time to read, because I'm like, if I have free time, I need to be crocheting. And I do love crocheting, but I also am like, oh, but that's also my job. So I am always focused on needing to crochet. So I haven't been able to pick up a book, which is so sad to me because I love reading. For some reason, I just don't like audiobooks. It's just not my thing. I'm hoping that I'll get over it so I could just be able to listen to audiobooks more often, but I just love a physical book. So I'm hoping that I will keep in that habit and read for 30 minutes every night before I crochet. But also, I discovered this author that does murder mystery bakery books. It's based on this girl who owns a little bakery in her small town, and there's always a murder mystery entitled with the book. And I'm only on the first book that I've ever read from her, but it's really fun because she has recipes throughout the book. So what I'm doing is I'm reading, and then when I hit a recipe, I get the ingredients, and then I'm gonna bake that within that week. So that's been a really fun way to bring back the two hobbies that I've forgotten lately because of crocheting and my small business. So I am reading and baking at the same time, and I hope to make a little series about this because it's been so fun. It's also fun because it's something that I can do with my daughter, so I love it so much. Number 4 is starting a crochet project that you thought you would never do. For me, it's a ton of things, like a cardigan, any type of wearable really, a scarf, or maybe something simple like a stocking or a coaster. or maybe something crazy that you haven't done before. Like if you're someone who usually just does blankets, maybe try amigurumi for a change, or a wearable. So I think this is really fun because you're stretching your mind and you're thinking of something different that you don't typically think of as you normally would when you are doing your project. And it's a fun way to get your Crojo back because it feels like you're just relearning your Crojo in a different way. So highly recommend trying something new. Number 5 is doing like a little fishbowl pool of a bunch of patterns that you've been wanting to do for a long time but just have not gotten. If you crochet and you are a pattern hoarder like I am, then you relate to this. But basically what I did was I grabbed a bunch of little pieces of paper and I wrote patterns that I had on there that I haven't done before, and I threw them into a hat and I just picked them up, or I told my husband to pick it up. Okay, I'm going to be making this fable friend that I haven't done before, even though I've had this pattern for a year. And that was way more fun because it felt like a challenge that somebody else was giving me, even though it was kind of yourself. Another thing I like to do is to romanticize your crocheting. What I do specifically is I go to my favorite coffee shop and I get a drink that I don't normally get because it's a little pricier. And so I think, okay, it's a special occasion, just me and my yarn. And then I try a whip that I haven't tried before. So kind of like I talked about before is like having all these whips or all of these patterns that you never touch, but also going out of your way to do it in a different place than just like your couch or your bed or wherever you normally crochet. Another thing I want to mention is maybe making something for someone else. There's something about seeing someone use or wear something that you made with your hands that just brings back that little bit of joy that you might have lost during this burnout period. I definitely recommend if you are someone that makes scarves or coffee sleeves or something like that that could be useful, make it for someone else and maybe even ask them if they want to choose the colors and kind of make it like a fun project that you normally wouldn't do. Another way to get your Crojo back is to join a local craft event. I recently hosted a craft event at a little children's boutique, which was so fun to do, but I also keep seeing that there is a yarn club at my local library that I have yet to attend, but I think it would be so fun if I were to go to one of those, or if anyone were to go to one of those. So I definitely think you should check out a local library, or just maybe even coffee shops or other places that you know have events for people that craft, or moms, or anything like that, because I think that is such a fun way to get together and enjoy your love of crafting and kind of be reminded as to why you do this. Another way that I think would be so special to get your Crojo back is to donate an item to a local cause. I know that Summer Day Crochet specifically has this thing called NICU Club where you donate little loveys to babies in the NICU. I've also seen a ton of other people that do things for Crochet Makes specifically, or probably Knitted Makes as well, where children or other people would take these donations and really benefit from them just in a loving sense. So I think that'd be a really special way to try to get your Crojo back, especially if it's something that is really special to you. For example, I know the owner of Summer Day Crochet, Mackenzie, had her twins in the NICU, so this is a really special way that she feels connected to the NICU because she's personally experienced that. Another thing I want to mention that's going to be hard to hear, which I know because I also think it's hard for me, is taking a social media break. Because so much of my life is consumed with social media because of this hobby slash business, it's really hard to not compare myself or overconsume this content when I really forget the whole reason that I'm doing this is because it's just a hobby that I love. So taking a break from social media, whether it be timing yourself or deleting the app or just finding a way to set boundaries within social media, is going to be really, really helpful for your love of this hobby. And last but not least is taking a break in general. I know that's really hard, but I do think that sometimes when we take a break from something we love doing, you learn to love it even more when you get back to it because you realize that you did miss it. Sometimes taking a break is really good for you mentally too, so that's something I definitely highly recommend. That's all I have for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed listening to these things that I do to get my Crojo back, and I hope that you try them as well if you have lost your Crojo. And if this helps your motivation, whether it be for a small business or just for your hobby or whatever it is, please let me know if it helped, and let me know what else you guys do to get your motivation back when you're feeling really burnt out during a season. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.